Go.
Right, let's go. I'm excited to be here. It's Tony from Successful Salons. We were planning on going live, but do you know what? The universe, sometimes has these challenges for us, and for whatever reason, we're not live, but we're still going to do it for you, and we will answer any questions that you have that may come up when it's posted. So I am excited to be here tonight with China Marie from Team Marketing.
You just cut out slightly a little bit, so hopefully the internet's okay.
Well, let's just try. So, like I was saying, I'm here with China Marie from Chi Marketing. Now, we have been lucky enough to have China as our featured expert in Successful Salons Club.
Yeah.
She did a wonderful bundle inside Successful Salons Club. Now, if you're new to Successful Salons and you're not quite sure what Successful Salons Club is, it is our membership site where every month we have a featured expert come in and do a course that helps our members get a result in their business. So China was very accommodating, and she did a Fully Booked Salon Formula bundle with us. Although we're not going to go into all the details of that with you today or tonight, because obviously that's for our paid members, but I want to welcome China to Successful Salons community. I'm sure you'll all give her a warm welcome. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so exciting. It's always great to talk to somebody else that's in the industry and, chat about all the things that are happening and, what we see as trends and what are the biggest tips and, things that we can do to help our salon owners out there. So one of the things we thought we'd talk about tonight, and we were going to do it live, and we wanted to, have you asking questions, but unfortunately that hasn't happened. But we still, despite whatever happens, we are still going ahead and we're going to do this for you. So before we start, I think China would be a really great idea if you give a bit of a background about how you became a salon mentor and how you became where you are today.
Sure, I'd love to. So my background goes back to when I was at school and my dad had his own remedial massage clinic. So I sort of started to get like a feel for that side of the industry, the more remedial side of the industry, helping him out as a receptionist when I was in high school. And I actually started massage study when I was in high school. And that's kind of what brought me into it. When I was 19, I think it was, I opened my first commercial massage and beauty salon. So we grew the beauty side sort of later, and I really loved it. It was in a small town up in Cairns. We became really, really, the best in the industry up where we were, because it was a small town. I loved owning the salon, but what I really fell in love with was like the back end stuff. So the marketing, the staff organizing, the management, growing the business. And I got to a point, because I was still doing remedial massage, that my hands started to kind of crap out, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But also I just found that I have always had a real passion for business and the entrepreneurial side of things. And I did course after course after course in marketing. And I found everything that I did was very much like regular business based, and I had to learn it and then transfer it into what would work for my salon. So I started building all of these systems and strategies specifically for my salon. And I had a business coach at the time, and he said, what would be your ideal thing? And I said, I would love, to be a mentor and a coach. He said, all right, let's work on doing that. So it's been just over 5 years now as a full-time salon mentor, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, we're getting awesome results, and I love that I didn't have to leave the industry. I was like, I don't know if I can leave, but I'm ready for a change. So this has been really awesome for me.
Awesome, and such a gift for the community. I love it. It's great. So let's dive in. I'm sure everyone's wanting to know, and I'm for some reason I think this might be live now. I'm not sure, but let's just run with it. Let's talk about marketing.
Yep.
Okay, so let's start with, what do you see as the number one mistake salon owners are making with their marketing? If you can narrow it down to one.
Right. I messaged you before and said, what's the question you're going to ask me? Oh, you asked about.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So it really depends on what stage you're at in your business, because every business needs something kind of different in terms of marketing. What I see is the biggest mistake that new and smaller businesses are making are jumping too quickly into paid Facebook ads, and that really full-on techie stuff when they haven't actually really mastered their local community yet and created really great business-to-business referral connections and done all of the sort of groundwork for them to actually need to be spending money on Facebook ads. What I find is, unless you have a lot of budget there and you know what you're doing, the lead quality can be really low. Like the potential clients coming through can be really low. The conversion rate can be really low. You get a lot of bargain hunters. You need to spend quite a bit, and you will probably end up with like a lot of clients who won't come back a second time or just make your life a little bit difficult. When you don't have the experience or the dollars to get the big enough sort of flood of clients coming through to make it worth your while.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it comes back down to that whole instant gratification. Like, I remember when I opened my salon and I thought everyone was just going to come because I opened my doors. Like, why wouldn't they come? Like, you know? And I think it's the same when we put up an ad. We think, why wouldn't people respond to that? Like Facebook ad, but there is so much more that goes into it that you really do have to spend that time learning about it or outsourcing it in order to get the results. But in saying that, I am, and I'm sure you are this too, a big advocate for low or no cost marketing platforms. Like, there are so many things that you can do to put more, because I'm a big believer you should be putting more money in your own pocket. Like, and I'm like, there's so, and I remember how I built my salon was on relatively the smell of an oily rag, but there were so many. I think it was the hardest I've worked and the brokest I'd ever been, like, in the beginning.
Absolutely.
But there's so many different, like, marketing avenues that you can go down that are low cost. Is there any that you spring to mind that if a salon owner was thinking, I really need to get an influx of cash, I'm, in that scarcity mindset, is there anything that you feel would be a great thing for them to go and do, like, straight away?
Yes, for sure. So one of the biggest things I teach, and my favorite thing ever to teach, is my business to business referral strategy. So first thing you need to do, and I know, like, every single business coach, every person that you hear from everywhere tells you to find your ideal client, and you're all like, I don't want to have an ideal client. I want to serve everybody. So you need to do that. Unfortunately. So figure out, like, who that person is you would really, really love to be seeing all the time. What's their age range? What's their personality type? Where are they spending their time? That's a really, really super simplified version of it. And what I mean by where are they spending their time is, like, what kind of gyms do they go to? Are they morning coffee ladies, or are they cocktails in the evening? What kind of clothing shops are they shopping at? Florists, like all of your local businesses around town, and then building a relationship with those other businesses. And I mean, there is some strategy to it in terms of being able to actually make that connection happen and get clients being sent to you. It's not just like, hey, can you send me clients? It's not quite that easy, but it is a really great way. It takes a bit more effort, and that's, like you said, the instant gratification. It's like, you're not just being able to click a button and then just like a flood of clients come through your door. But what happens is you get a higher quality client, you get them consistently through your door, and you're not spending any money on it. And they're all within your community. So you're building these great relationships. So I'd say that is an awesome start and should always be done before you start spending a heap of money on ads.
And I love that you talk about, clients coming in consistently, because that really is the key. consistency, just keep like, I think so many times that, and I had this conversation today with a client, is about, you want to put these ads out there and get this influx of people, but what happens is you don't keep focused on the one thing. Like you might start there and then you don't see the results. Instead of going back and making sure that you're correcting it and turning it into a well-oiled machine that, can be automated or scaled, you go off into a different direction and try something else instead of going back to that one where it could be really just one tweak could make all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another, I think, thing about figuring out that ideal client is if you're spending all of this energy on and time and money potentially on getting new clients through the door, you want to make sure that they're high quality clients, that they're the right client for you, that they are willing to spend money and that you can retain them, so that that upfront energy is going to allow you like long-term stability rather than, I call it like your business being like a sieve, like a colander where everything just falls through. It happens so often because people come through like on a bargain hunt type client. They come in looking for a deal, and then they'll look somewhere else for a deal, which when you look at things like the Groupon and the really heavy discounted stuff, it just causes so many problems for your business down the track when you don't have that good retention, which is like, if you don't have a foundation, you're in trouble.
Yeah. And it's funny because some of my clients will be like, don't talk to Tony about Groupons and things like that. But there is actually a place for them. Like I do believe that there is a place for them in your business, but it's making sure that you have your marketing calendar sorted, making sure that you know what you're wanting to achieve from it and your expectations are, in check. You're not expecting anything, amazing from these type of clients and things like that. So I think that they do have a place, but again, like it just has to be, the marketing strategy behind it.
That's right. And another thing that I talk about a lot is the like the client experience and the digital client experience that you can set up. So if you do get somebody through who is potentially a bargain hunter in the beginning, nurturing them really, really well is going to help you keep them long term because they're not getting that experience in a lot of places. So
no, and I think sorry, there was a delay.
Go for it.
I think the saying is that a client isn't yours until they've visited your salon 3 times.
Yes.
So, you have to get them back. Like if you want them to become a long-term loyal client, then you have to get them back that, 3 times. And I'm a big believer in nurturing. So I'm glad that you brought that up. I know that we could go on, and I think you've given, some great knowledge there for our listeners to be able to put into action. And it's just, I remember though, and this can be some of our salon owners, I remember that I was really embarrassed to tell people that I owned a salon when I first owned my salon.
Really?
And it wasn't, it was funny. I'm just like, oh no, I just work there, or I just, and I wouldn't say too much. And obviously I dug into it and turned it around, but it was probably, what if people come and they don't like it? What if people come and say something negative? Then that's a personal reflection on me. And so I went through this whole process, and I'm sure I'm not alone because other people would have gone through it too as well. Yeah. But it's about, standing up and going, yeah, I am proud to be a salon owner. Like not everyone gets to do this. I was having fun with what I was doing in my work. And so I just want to encourage anyone who's not going out there and saying that you are the owner of your salon to be proud. People want to know the owner. People want to have conversations with the owner, networking, go out there and tell people, show people who you are, invite them into your salon, because you'll be surprised at what can come from all these opportunities.
For sure. Absolutely.
So I know we could go on, but I want to jump to social media marketing.
Yeah.
So can you, because I know that this can be a real bugbear for some salon owners. Some have it down pat, like they're going for it and they're into their reels and they've got their stories going and they're posting and they're getting that engagement. Well, I hope they get an engagement. I'm a big believer in metrics as, engagement is the number one metric that you want to be looking for. Not the vanity one of how many likes or followers that you have on your page. But what would be your top 3 tips when, creating your content and putting your content out there?
Okay, sure. So, top 3 tips.
Well, I say that because I think one of your tips that we talked about, and I'm happy to talk about it now, in the members live call, is we talked about creating content and how you create your content and encourage your salon owners to create their content. I mean, I'm sure that would be a big tip, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there's a little delay there as well. Are we back? Oh yeah, there we go. Yes, so my number 1 would be to batch your content. So batch your like your image content and your basic grid content, or the things that you can automate on your Facebook page and your Instagram page. And that is sitting down for, you can actually get it pretty tight and get a month done within 2 hours once you get into the flow of it. Ideally, you'll have yourself a social media calendar, which helps you with ideas of what subjects you can post on, so that you're mixing it up. So you really want to make sure you've got an 80-20 combination, 80% where you're providing value, you're educating, you're loving on your audience, and 20% where you're actually offering something, to book an appointment or to get in touch or whatever it is. So I'd suggest sitting down. It'll take you longer to begin with, even if you start with like 1 to 2 weeks, pre-writing your content, getting your images ready, putting it in Planoly, or whichever like scheduling system you want to use to automate to go out. And then you can really focus your energy on, rather than thinking, what am I going to post? I don't have anything to talk about today. I'm not getting any engagement. So you've got that really continuously going in the background. You can do between 3 and 6 or more posts a week. But you can focus your energy then on your reels and your stories and like your more creative, fun stuff that can happen on the day. And that's where you will build your engagement. Now, Instagram has like moved way over to video. There's actually a cool thing in Canva now, just as a top tip, where you can animate your flat images. So I build all my stuff in Canva, you can animate it, and it can go on your Instagram as a little video. So you're able to get more interaction from that and be shown on the feed. And then was there anything else that what else did we talk about the other day?
So I was talking about just batching your content. I think that's a really important thing that any salon owner can do, because it frees up your mind.
Yeah.
Because you're not always thinking, oh, damn, I haven't posted. Oh, shit, I've got to go and make this post. Or, you're not thinking things like that, and it's taking up all the space in here when actually it doesn't need to be. Because if you just spend 2 to 3 hours on, a Monday or Tuesday evening or whatever it is, I'm going to create, the post. And, look, no one's asking you to post every day by any means. It's just being consistent with those posts.
Yeah.
So, if it's going to be 3 times a week, you do 3 times a week. So, and I mean, let's be fair, a lot of us are creative in the industry. We like to do fun things, and your reels and your stories are where it's at. And I'm a big one. Like, I get on my stories and I'll go all the time, and then I'll fall off because I'm not feeling them. But I'll come back on and I'm just like, you know what? I own this. Like, I'm okay about it. Like, I tell my audience, don't expect to see it every single day.
It gets exhausting. That's why it's good to batch. So then there's still stuff going out in the background when you're like, oh, I need a socials break.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if you want to give us some feedback or some tips or anything, or what your thoughts are on reels, because I know some salon owners are really struggling with the whole reels and doing the algorithms and, how all that. So do you have anything that you'd like to add?
I think that they don't need to be as difficult as we're all making them. Reels can be quite simple. You don't need to do these big fancy transitions and spend hours and hours trying to get your reel right. You can literally just do a basic one of you maybe coming into the salon, confirming with the client that it's okay, just showing the room while somebody's getting a facial, and have some nice music in the background. Or if you don't have the energy and time to do the full-on, most popular reels, just still do the basic ones, because it is going to up your interaction levels, your engagement from Instagram. It is important to do that. But I think the key is to not overthink it. And the more often you do them, the easier they get. You know, like the first one will feel like such a big job, and then you'll start having fun with it. I got a little bit addicted every day. I was like, oh, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. All these ridiculous things. I work on my own. I was going to do like, you know, a montage of me talking to myself in the office. So you do kind of like, it can become addictive and fun. But before that, just even if you've got, you know, like a staff member who is a little bit more confident with taking videos and stuff, ask them to do it and work with them on it. But definitely just start doing them a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also, like, you brought up a good point, like, you know, the more complicated reels and things like that. And I think sometimes we can compare ourselves to another salon owner. We'll be watching and scrolling and see how amazing these, you know, reels are. And then we automatically will think, oh, well, I'm not that good, you know, my salon can't be that good. And you start to, you know, saying these things to yourself, and it's, you know, it's natural. But what you probably have to remember, are they attracting the same ideal target audience that you, ideal client that you are? And, you know, are they chapter 20 and you're chapter 2 in their salon owner's journey? Like, you know, you've really got to put it into perspective. So I think, you know, if you think your reels are, you know, pretty basic, but they might be great for your ideal clients. So
exactly.
Don't be hard on yourself. Like, you know, just give it a go, put yourself out there, and, you know, you'll never know what can come from it.
Yeah, I think that point is really good as well. You know, who are you talking to? If you can inject as much of your personality and as much of your business's personality into those, you're really going to put out an energy that connects with your ideal clients and people who, you know, resonate with you. So that's really, I think, the key with any video, your stories, doing IGTVs, doing reels, putting your personality in there, not trying to be like any other salon out there that you're looking at. It allows your audience to really get a feel for who your business is, you know, your business personality. And that's what attracts, you know, your tribe in business, your client tribe. So I think that's important. You don't need to compare, you can just have fun with it. And if you're having trouble with that comparison, the thief of joy, then I think it's a great idea in business. And this is nothing that I do, but I always reach out to support in like helping me change the way that I think around that sort of stuff, and building up my own self-worth and my own confidence to support me in that. I think it's good to have some support people to get you past that stuff, because everyone faces it, no matter what level they're at in business.
I couldn't agree more. And I always say to salon owners, it's 80% mindset. Like, it's 80% mindset. So it was funny. I was telling this story the other day, and I went to the hairdressers, and it didn't end up costing me as much as what I thought it was going to cost me. So I was like, save some money. Like, And then I went to pick up a facial product that I'd run out of, and I thought it was like this other price, and it was way cheaper. So I was like, I'm saving. So already my frequency is like, I'm on this bandwagon of saving all this money. So then I go to the dentist, and it was like $200 cheaper than what I thought it was going to be. So I'm like, yes. And then I walk into Harvey Norman to get an Apple Watch, and he says to me, the guy that I normally deal with, he says to me, Tony, who is your phone provider? And I was like, oh, Vodafone. He goes, if you go to Spark, we'll give you a $300 voucher today, and then you can just use it on your phone and only pay on your watch and only pay $49. Oh, and I was like, and my two daughters were behind me going like this to each other, Mum manifested that, Mum manifested that. I was like, but I was in such a high frequency of all these things happening that there was no other choice but for it to keep happening. So it is really making sure that your mindset is, you know, in that high vibe, and you're not always going to be high vibe. Let's be fair. You know, there's challenges, like, you know, we know, but it's being able to change that really quickly to come out of it. So a really good point. So I think we're going to round it up. It's because we could go on for a long time, and I know it's your early evening. It's 8:30 here in New Zealand. But before we go, two things. Firstly, what is your number one piece of advice that you would give to salon owners now?
Oh, geez, these questions.
I know, sorry.
Oh my goodness. My number one piece of advice, actually, this is a good one, and this is perfect for us as business mentors. But I think having somebody in your corner, whether it is a friend or a family member who has, been in business for a long time and can see, knows the mindset of business and can support you in that, or a coach or a mentor. Ideally, it is better if you can get someone in your industry who understands it. It is game changing. And I was thinking for myself, because I have a whole team of support people, from hypnotherapists to kinesiologists to business mentors, to make sure that I'm always my best possible self and growing. But every one of us has this capacity of knowledge. And you think no, I can do it myself. I'll keep trudging. But if you don't have anyone or anything to help you input new knowledge or broaden your horizons, you just won't. And you just keep it's slower, it's more difficult, all
it's
that
just
sort of stuff.
On that wheel.
Yeah. And it's you are the equivalent of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So even if it's a awesome Facebook community, I'm in a money mindset group, and the community is just, these women are just killing it. And it's oh, this is my 5 people, these thousands of people in this group. Having somewhere that helps you raise your vibration, gives you inspiration and motivation and tools to grow, I think is the key. I
totally agree. And I always remember a very, very good friend of mine said to me once, never take advice from about your marriage from a divorced person. It's the same thing. You want to take advice from somebody that has been where you want to go. And I always think too, it's always great, being in a room sometimes with people where I can feel like I'm the dumbest one there. I'm not, but yeah. I think it's great because I've got I can learn from all these people.
Yes, so true. What do they say? You're the smartest one in the room. You need to
You're in the wrong room. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great being the smartest.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you for that. Now, where can our community see more of you? Do you want to give us your Instagram handle or...
Yes, you're probably better to come and join me on Facebook at the moment. Facebook is really moving right now. We've got a really great group. So you can find me at Chi Salon Mentor. My website is www.chimarie.com. So it's very easy. It's just CHIMARIE. But we just did a webinar on Monday night, and we're thinking of redoing one on the weekend. But we have a really great replay as well from Monday, and it was the three R's to hitting 3K consistently, or hitting your next goal financially consistently in your salon. So if anybody wants that, I'd be more than happy to provide you guys with the link. It was just for who registered, but for your community, Tony, I can always pop that if you just put replay or whatever in the comments, and I can connect you with it. But yeah.
Awesome, that sounds great, and thank you very much for doing that. I'm sure we'll have some takers in our community because lots of our community are out there to create their salon of their dreams, so that always excites me, on their terms, which is even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for being here, China. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know that our members are enjoying your bundle over in the members club. I know that I spoke to a couple today and they're enjoying it, and they were also, there was a couple that hadn't quite got to it yet, but that's the luxury of being in a membership site. They can go back and get it whenever they like.
Yeah, nice.
Which is not a bad thing, because I think it's always good to make sure that people are scheduling the time to be able to go and do it and follow through with it. So I think that that's great. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Go and enjoy your evening.
I will. Thank you.
Awesome. Take care.
Thanks so much, Tony. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.